Hey, switch to. Hey, switch to. Switch to. Switch to. Switch to. Shout out to the good folks over at Best Buy. Midnight release. Yeah, I mean. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Y'all know what day today is. It's June 5th. That means it's Nintendo Switch 2 day. And of course, your boy managed to get his hands on one. But that's not all. I didn't get just one. I actually got two. Now, the other one's not quite here yet because it is 1 a.m. Actually, it's closer to 2 a.m. as I'm recording this video. And I managed to get two pre-orders. One at Best Buy and another one at Walmart. Now, my Best Buy, I think most of them, was actually doing a midnight release where you could show up and pick up your pre-order because I did manage to get mine scheduled for pickup. So I got it. And we're going to do an unboxing here today. But as I said, I got two. Now, I don't need both of them. So what I've been thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to give the other one away. So right now on my Twitch stream, I'm currently running a sub goal where if we hit the goal, I give away a free Nintendo Switch 2, and not just any Switch 2. Mario Kart bundle, you know what I'm saying? The 9-1, you feel me? So if you're interested at all in that, maybe consider subscribing to the Twitch channel, pull up the streams. I think I made a community post about it in a tweet, but basically June 14th, Saturday, I want to say, 9 p.m. Eastern. Be there. You might be able to win a Switch. Who knows? That being said, I'm back from Best Buy, and I figured I would do a little unboxing. So let's go ahead and get to it. Very eventful night, by the way. Sony's State of Play was incredible. Marvel fighting game got announced by Arc System Works. Didn't see that coming. And now we got the Switch 2 launch, and this is the Mario Kart bundle, as I stated. Oh, wrong side. You know what I mean? And yeah, also it came with this little coin. Let's set this down here for a second. A little commemorative coin, I guess, that you can display alongside it or just keep. I might put this on the shelf or something like that. But yeah, let me go ahead and slip that out real quick. Let's get a nice little look at that. Is this? It's in like a plastic case. I don't know if this opens up. I'm not gonna force it just in case it's meant to stay sealed up. But yeah, also I just realized on the back it says Best Buy 2025. So I guess this is a Best Buy exclusive if you got one from there. I feel like you're meant to take it out because the case is a little dinged up already, but I don't really know. Gotta do a little makeup guru tech, you feel me? If I could just get that, there you go. You see it. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's get into the unboxing. So, question for all you guys out there who did manage to get a Switch 2, whether you got yours pre-ordered, it's shipping, it's already on the way, you got it, whatever the case may be. What is the first game you're playing? Now, I know people are gonna be like, oh, well, I ain't got no games, it's not a lot, but like, you ain't necessarily gotta play like a brand new first party Switch title. Like, I know we got Mario Kart and there's Bravely Default, and really don't know what else there is at launch, to be honest. But I know for me personally, I'm actually excited to finally play Pokemon Scarlet because I got Scarlet and Violet when they came out. And I never finished those games because the performance was just so poor, it genuinely hindered my experience and I just didn't enjoy playing the game. Now, as you guys know, I recently got a Nintendo 3DS where I've been playing a lot of the old Pokemon games and whatnot. And, you know, I went back and I was like, you know, let me give Scarlet another chance. And then lo and behold, again, it just wasn't, I just couldn't endure the poor performance of that game. But if you've seen what I've seen, you know, Scarlet and Violet got like a really big performance boost where it's now running in like 60 frames. I don't know if it's like actually 4K, but the resolution and frame rate are significantly better. And personally, that's what I'm excited to play. So as you saw, we got the Mario Kart bundle. So I will be playing some of that with the homies and whatnot. And let's go ahead and take a look inside. So, wow, this is actually, matter of fact, where is my original Switch? We can compare that in size because it's my first time seeing one in person. So let me go grab that real quick. So here is my original Nintendo Switch. And what's funny about this is that when the Switch came out, I didn't really care about it that much. I didn't even try to buy one. This was actually a gift from the big homie Rhymestyle because he thought his was so dope and he was having so much fun with it. He was like, nah, dog, you gotta try this. Like, I'm gonna buy you one and like, you gotta try it out. And so he did. And I loved it. And what I found out is that the tech for me with the Switch is Pokemon and RPGs. That's like, yeah, that's my jam, man. So that's what my Switch is basically gonna be, is a Pokemon and RPG machine, because that's how my original one served me. But just comparing the size already, I can already see like a big difference in the screen size. Like, I knew the Switch 2 was a lot bigger, but damn. Anyway, let's go ahead and actually get this out of the box. Boom. And we've also got two Joy-Cons, left Joy-Con, right Joy-Con. I will say, I would hope that we start getting, you know, more interesting colors and whatnot. They kind of follow the same like blue and red scheme, I guess, from the original one. But I wonder if they're gonna do like more fancier looks to the. I mean, I guess they never really did that. Well, that's not true. I got like some Pokemon and some Zelda ones back there. Now that I think about it, that I never unboxed, but just bought because they look cool. But then if we go ahead and lift this up, we've got something else in here. Is this the game? Few documents in here with some codes on it. Don't want to reveal that. Oh wait, no, the game's not in here. It's down there. I thought it was because the Mario Kart World. Whatever. This is the power cable. This is the HDMI cable, as well as some little straps. It looks like for the Joy-Con, which I never used the original ones, or the ones for the original Switch, and I'm sure I'll never use those either. Did you ever use the straps on your Joy-Cons? I remember when the Switch came out, a lot of people were putting them on like backwards or whatever, and like you couldn't take it off because they like jammed it on there. I don't know how you screw that up, but yeah, I was never really the one who used it on like the Nintendo Wii back in the day either. But go ahead and set this aside. And then we've also got what looks to be like the USB cables. We can get some power to that bad boy. And speaking of power, it looks like we have our power brick. Also worth noting that as opposed to the old Switch, the cable and the brick are now separate. So if like one gets damaged or whatever, you can just replace one or the other as opposed to having to replace the whole thing, which I think I actually did have to do once or twice, whether it's just because it got damaged or I lost it or whatever the case may be. But yeah, they're separate now, which is always good in my opinion. And then what do we have here? Oh, this is I actually don't know what you call this, but the little extra accessory it comes with, the little plastic controller that you can attach your Joy-Cons to. So it's more like having a Pro controller, which I'm personally not a big fan of the Pro controller. A lot of people are. It always felt kind of cheap and flimsy to me, and I don't know, I just never really was a big fan of it. But I'm not a fan of most controllers, I guess, to be honest. Actually, I really like PlayStation controllers, but the quality control on them is not necessarily the best, even though ergonomically they're my favorite. I know it's a hot take. People normally prefer Xbox controllers, but it is what it is. And then I can only assume that this right here, Mario Kart, has to be in here, right? I would assume so. Or maybe it just comes with a digital code. Actually, I don't even know. I didn't even read the sticker. Includes full game download. You know, I don't know why I assumed it just came with like a physical copy of the game. That was the impression that I got. I never even bothered to read this until just now. I read the fine print when I purchased the bundle. But it comes with the code. I thought it would come with the game. I know there's the whole thing with physical games and like the game key cards or whatever with this. And I just, you know, obviously as a big collector of physical media and just things in general, like it's weird. I don't really agree with it, but I'm gonna still buy physical games regardless. But yeah. Digital download, not the physical game. Don't know if you guys knew that. I didn't. Joke's on me. So then this must be the dock, right? Go ahead and grab that out of there. Set the box to the side. Comes all nicely wrapped up in some little, what do you call it? Styrofoam paper, tissue paper, whatever it is. And yeah, nice little Nintendo Switch 2 branding on that. Nice matte black finish. Go ahead, focus on that camera if you'd be so kind. There we go. Flip it on over to the back. We've got HDMI as well as you pop this on somehow. It looks like this entire back plate just pops off, which I don't really know how I feel about that. At first I thought like this bottom piece down here, I don't know if you can see, it's like clearly like separated, right? I thought this would be like a little door that like opens up or something like that, which I feel like would have been a little bit nicer. But then I guess you run the risk of like that being like a point of error where like that could snap off or whatever. Maybe this is a little bit better. But you got your AC adapter, your HDMI out, and unlike the previous Switch, I don't know if I'll be able to get the text to focus there. Let's see if we can get that to show up. Yeah, you see that? LAN. We actually have an Ethernet port on the Switch dock. You had to buy a USB adapter before if you wanted one of those, which speaking of USB, looks like we also got 2 USB ports there on the side. So very nice, very nice. Having Ethernet actually built in, it just feels like something that should just be there, but it's actually noteworthy on this because it wasn't on the original one. So very nice, very nice. Well, we got our Switch dock, we got the cables and everything. Let's go ahead and start cracking the bad boy open and see how it's feeling. Let's go ahead and slip out this first Joy-Con and got some nice little heft to it. Feels nice. Now, if you're anything like me, you've been through a few pairs of Joy-Cons. These actually are still my original Joy-Cons from the Switch, but I've got a pair of like custom Super Nintendo ones. And actually this left Joy-Con, I got stick drift very early on. Sent it in the Nintendo, they repaired it for free. And then like a year later, it got drift again. And yeah, every set of Joy-Cons that I have used has eventually gotten drift. So I wonder if these will be any different. Hopefully they're built a little bit better than before, but I guess time will tell. But that feels very nice. I also do like the fact that the Joy-Cons are now like magnetic. They kind of clip on or slap on, however you want to say it, to the Switch, but feel good in the hands. I like the matte finish on these quite a lot as well. let's go ahead, get to the main event right here. Just go ahead and get that bad boy out of it. Now, apparently this actually comes with a bit of a protective film on it that you might be tempted to peel off. Apparently you're not supposed to do that, and it's to help prevent the glass from like shattering and like pieces falling out in the event that that does happen. But there it is right there. Then you can see, damn, you see my shiny teeth in me, face head boy. That thing clean, ain't it? Yeah, so I remember a lot of people were pointing this out and saying that these were going to be like a big point of failure and that they're going to easily snap and everything like that. We'll see. Ooh, hold up. How do you actually release that? Because that was very satisfying. That sounded real nice. You got this button right here. That just, can I get that to? Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. I don't know if it's quite as nice as like the iconic like clack you get on the original Switch, but oh boy, I know you see me shining. Don't hate, don't be mad. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Like I said, I will be doing a giveaway for one of these if we hit the sub goal on my Twitch stream, so pull up, you know what I'm saying? And you don't have to necessarily be subscribed, but obviously if we got to get the goal in order to do the giveaway. And I'll probably do a thing where if you are subscribed, you have a better chance at winning, but you could just be following the stream and just be there during that. But yeah, this is nice. This is nice. And it's obviously going to be a little bit less portable, I guess, than the original Switch just because it's larger. But I mean, people are running around with like those ROG Ally joints and Steam Decks and everything these days. So this really shouldn't be too much of an issue. To me, the biggest thing that makes me the most excited about this is just like games just running better. Like there were a few games, like I said, like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, that like I was excited to play, but they just didn't look or run good at all. It just like completely hindered my experience. So to me, just having a more powerful Nintendo Switch is just a really cool thing in and of itself, let alone all the games that are obviously going to accompany this. And then we also get stuff like being able to play GameCube games and stuff on this. You know what I'm saying? Like they're bringing like Coliseum and Gale of Darkness to like, what was it, the eShop or something like that? I'm not super Nintendo savvy, but I forget. There's going to be some like, I don't know if it was a virtual console, whatever. And those are some of my favorite games of all time, so I would be playing those. Also, I need a new Fire Emblem, you know what I'm saying? Might be jumping on some Xenoblade. They announced a new Final Fantasy Tactics. Your boy, you seen your boy just did the Raito sponsor yesterday. I'm probably only picking up Raito for this as well. And yeah, man, like I said, Pokemon and RPG machine for me, but I'll probably be on some Mario Kart with the fellas as well. But yeah, man, so do we got any power right away, or am I going to have to charge this thing up before we can actually turn it on and set it up? Nope, we got power, boys and girls. We got power. So let's hey, I don't think it's coming through the mic, but we got some nice music coming through. Can I get that to come up? Where's the speakers on this? I'm feeling that. So let's go ahead and do this English US, the Americas, of course. Accept the end user license agreement, and let's go ahead and connect to Le Internet. About to download update data. You can continue setting up while the update downloads. So let's go ahead and pick the right time zone. I live on the East Coast of the US. With Nintendo Switch 2, you can play games wherever you want, however you want. I'll be playing in bed, on the plane, on the train. Detach the right hand Joy-Con and pull to the side. I actually really like the ways these attach and detach a little bit more, I think, than the actual original Switch. I like the button more than I like sliding it, to be honest. You can transfer data from your Nintendo Switch to this Nintendo Switch 2. Start system transfer. If you have a micro SD Express memory card inserted, you can use the inserted micro SD Express card to store data for downloadable software, screenshots, etc. I didn't even think about that. I did not buy a card for this. I don't even know if I have one in my other Switch, or do they take a different one or the same one? I actually don't even know. I do actually have a micro SD in here. It's under a little kickstand, and this is an official Nintendo Switch. Did this come with it? Did I buy this? This looks like it has like a Zelda logo on it or something like that. But it is a micro SD XC, so I'm gonna just go ahead and pop this straight into my new joint. So very similar to the old Switch, it looks like this just pops in right underneath the kickstand. The inserted micro SD card either can't be read or isn't compatible with Nintendo Switch 2. Remove the insert. I might have to buy a new card. Oh, this one's not Express. The Switch 2 needs an Express. Oh, Nintendo. Man, I done already paid $500 for the thing. Y'all couldn't just throw one of them in for the free ski? Well, I guess we'll be coming back to that. Also, maybe it's because I didn't really like follow the release leading up to the original Nintendo Switch. I didn't know. I dropped my phone. Anywho, as I was saying, I didn't know that the Switch was touchscreen until like months, maybe even like a year after owning it. I touched the screen accidentally while I was doing something, and I was like, wait a minute, this motherfucker is touchscreen? News to me, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know. All right, so my Switch 2 told me that I need to plug in an AC adapter, the power, in order to complete the data transfer. Worth noting that when I plugged it into the surge protector under my desk, it didn't work. I guess it just couldn't get enough power from that, so I plugged it into the wall outlet, and I'll be back when my data transfer finishes. All right, so that was actually much faster than I expected. It took less than 10 minutes and setup complete. If I can get that to focus. Yeah, and all my games and everything right here. The dark theme, the dark mode is like actually dark. Oh, yo, we lit. We lit. Yeah, so my 3 different profiles that I have on here, all my games, everything, yeah, that was pretty impressive, I'm not gonna lie. Let's just go ahead and put that to sleep real quick, let it finish downloading whatever it needs to, and let's just go ahead and compare the original one to the new one. I'm sure you guys have seen countless videos doing stuff like this already, but why not include it in my own video as well? So, it's noticeably larger. Like, what's the best way for me to do this? I guess maybe like this. Hold them up like that. Like, you can obviously see the Switch 2 is much larger than the original Nintendo Switch. Now, I'm a fairly large guy. I feel like I've been mentioning this a lot lately, but I'm 6'3", so I'm a fairly large human being. And I've got hands that are equally as large, like they're proportionate to the rest of me. So, you know, I could like easily like, you know, grip one, you know what I'm saying? Like you know what I mean? But I never felt like uncomfortable or like, you know what I'm saying? I felt like the original Switch was a pretty good size. I mean, I've been playing on Nintendo 3DS lately just fine. And even before that, I was playing on a DS Lite, which is currently buried under a stack of mail. So I'm not going to bother grabbing that right now. But what I will say is that the Switch 2, it looks bigger in my hands, and the screen especially, because there's the bezel is like so much thinner. You're getting just like way more screen for how much bezel there is. And that alone makes a huge difference. But it's kind of hard to explain. Like it feels a little heavier, but not like in a bad way. It just feels like heftier and just honestly like more sturdy and more quality. And the Joy-Cons, they're like way more firm and like they feel like way more secure. You know what I mean? Like it feels like on my original Switch. Yeah, you probably can't hear that, but like they're like a little bit, they rattle just a little bit, you know what I'm saying? They're not just quite as locked in. And the new joint, it feels like the thickness isn't really much thicker, if at all, somehow, some way. And I don't know, man, it feels good in the hands. You know the procedures. And I like it. It doesn't feel like I'm holding something that's significantly bigger, but you look at the screen, it's like, wow, that is a big difference. I say that to say, I like it. I like it a lot. Scarlet probably gonna be, I might play some Scarlet tonight, you feel me? Like I'm almost finished with my playthrough of X, like I'm literally at the Pokemon League. I know there's post game and stuff, but I might have to jump right into some Scarlet and you know what I'm saying, just to see firsthand for myself what this game was actually meant to be now that it's actually finally releasing, so to speak. But yeah, man, that is the Nintendo. Scarlet is finished downloading. Also, something I'm noticing about this, just as I'm handling it and everything, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but like it's not really picking up fingerprints or nothing like that. Now my hands are pretty clean, but like usually by now something like this, I'd see it already just covered in fingerprints. But the Joy-Cons and the back panel and everything is just not really. Now the screen's gonna be another story entirely, but it's just doing a really good job of like hiding any fingerprints. That's pretty impressive. All right, so we got the Switch all set up, and I decided to go ahead and set up the dock and everything. And well, let's just go ahead and take a look at some gameplay. Like I said, the thing I'm actually the most excited to play is Pokemon Scarlet. So let's just go ahead and jump in there real quick and just have a little looky, just see what we work with. Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited about this. Now, I'm not going to be playing this docked, but I have it docked right now so I can capture the footage for you guys in this video. And oh my God, get flashbang, boy. Man, I ain't gonna lie, already this is already looking kind of clean. I ain't gonna lie, low key, I don't know, they look kind of good on the monitor. I might dock it just for the hell of it. Yo, this is, wow, this is an entirely different game. This is a whole different game, bro. What? Oh, let's go jump into a random encounter real quick just to see like some battle animations. As you can see, I'm already got my Meowscarlet. I'm a couple badges deep and whatnot already, but I just want to see like it don't even really matter. Everything is so much smoother. It's so much more crisp and fluid, and oh my God, this is how this game was meant to be played. So real quick, let me just get into a random encounter and like use the Terror Orb. I just want to see like those animations and whatnot, because yeah, let's just, it don't really matter what move we use. Let's just go with Night Slash though. Nah, I cannot believe people had to suffer through the Nintendo Switch 1 version of this game. This, like, I've never been more grateful that I didn't finish a game before. You know what I'm saying? This is how this is meant to look, dog. This is how this game. See, now I can fully enjoy and appreciate. Whoops, I ran right into another Pokemon. Now I can fully enjoy and appreciate what this game really has to offer, because I started a new playthrough, and this is like my new playthrough that I was on. And I was like, damn, there's some really cool things about this game, but like it's hard to appreciate or really enjoy because it looks so bad and it runs so bad. But this is so crisp, so clean, so smooth. Oh, wait, why is Eevee evolving? What is Eevee evolving into? You're not supposed to be evolving yet. Wait, unless... Well, let's go ahead and let it rock. I can always, you know, not save and close. Okay, no, that's what I wanted. Hey, I got my Sylveon. As you see, I named my Eevee Haku because I knew it was going to be a Sylveon. You know why? Because my guy pretty like a girl, and he got 5 stories to tell. She on both sides like Chanel. Sylveon, welcome to the gang. Sylveon has been added to the Pokedex. I didn't expect to randomly get my evolution just now, but we got it. I was working toward that when I was last playing the game. So, wants to learn to move Disarming Voice. Yeah, we can go ahead and do that. I wanted to see if I could find an area that was like super populated with like a ton of Pokemon everywhere. I'm not seeing any right now, but there's actually another game. There's a decent amount here. I'm not gonna lie. This is already especially with the rainfall and everything, I'd be getting 10 frames right now, if that, on the Switch 1 in an area like this right now. The rain falling and this many Pokemon on screen. There's one more game I actually do want to try out though, on video with you guys. That didn't used to run very well, and I just want to see if it's like any different on the Switch 2. So Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are like specific games that got like graphical updates and performance updates to their game, and like between me like turning the console on and then updating it and doing the data transfer and everything, like I just popped in the cartridge and jumped right in, and that's how the game looks. So all that happened without me having to do anything extra. But there are other games that I want to see if they just run better even if they didn't get like a specific performance update or anything like that. But that being said, I also don't know the list of all the games that are getting that, but I'll be right back, just one moment. Fairy Tail. Now wait, relax. Okay, I know a lot of you out there some Fairy Tail haters, and I get it. Okay, I'm not here to defend Fairy Tail, but I like it. I think it's like stupid fun, and we're not gonna get in here about Fairy Tail, whatever. But Koei Tecmo gifted me this game a while back, and I did a playthrough of it, I think, on PC. But I liked it so much that I actually picked it up on Switch, but it didn't run too good on Switch, and so now I want to see what it actually runs like. You can see I played it for about 20 minutes. I want to see if it runs any better on the Switch 2 than it did on the original Switch 1, and if it looks any better. Now, I don't know if there's like any like sort of default performance upgrades or updates, or if this game got like a specific update when I, you know, downloaded it and popped my cartridge in or what. But I just want to see like if it's any better than what I remember. Okay, it did look better than I remember. The frame rate I remember was also terrible too, but as I'm moving around, it looked pretty good. Oh yeah, this is much better. This is much better. Okay, actually though, when I was playing, I wasn't playing it docked, I was playing it handheld, and that might make a difference. So real quick, I'm just gonna pop this thing out real quick and see for myself if it still looks like this when it's handheld. All right, so I got it handheld again, and I ain't gonna hold you. It looked just as good, if not better, handheld as it just did when it was docked. Running it on the Switch 1, it was so bad that like I never continued the playthrough, but now I'm looking forward to playing through this game because I don't think I ever finished it. I was doing a playthrough of it on stream, and then I got pretty close to the end, I think, and then just for whatever reason just never finished. But this is definitely a game I'm looking forward to, and there's a sequel to this game now, which this video ain't really about Koei Tecmo or the Fairy Tail game, but like I said, one of my guilty pleasures personally, so I will be probably getting the second game and playing it now. I'm excited, man. Switch 2, definitely worth the upgrade for me personally. But yeah, that's something I was curious about. I was like, okay, so are games that get like a dedicated performance update going to be the only ones that run better, or will just the Switch 2, with it being more powerful, or will games that didn't look so good look better on this more powerful hardware? And that's what I was hoping for, because I figured there'll be some games that were like just held back and developed with the idea of the power of the Switch in mind, and what, you know what I'm saying? You get what I mean? Because I figured there's going to be some games that there's really no difference, and some games will have a difference, and then some games are going to require like an update to really bring out that full potential. But it looks like this is one of those games where you just pop it in and it just looks better than it did on the original Nintendo Switch. So I'm happy about that. I'm excited about that. But with that, boys and girls, I think that's gonna do it for today's video. I'm very excited and the very proud owner of the Nintendo Switch 2. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Hit this video with a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't already, so you can stay tuned for all lots of content when I bring you. With all being said, that's pretty much all I have today, and remember, nothing can happen until you swing the bat. Later.